Jackie Rodriguez and Elliot Rodriguez, only on South Florida's CBS 4 News.
A 1-2 punch. After being pummeled by tornadoes, floods now threaten the plain. A former aide to Alberto Gonzales tells a different story about the firings of 8 federal prosecutors. And California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger jumps to the aid of a young woman who faints on stage. This is the CBS Morning News for Friday, March 30th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Susan McInnes. After being pummeled by a rash of tornadoes, the Plain States are now being hit with heavy rain and the threat of flash floods. The massive storm system stretches from Texas all the way to North Dakota. Parts of central Texas are already under as much as 4 feet of water. This as cleanup begins following dozens of tornadoes that left at least 4 people dead. Harry Srinivasan reports.
You have some widespread damage over an area of probably 3 to 5 acres.
That twister damaged a dozen homes, knocked down high-voltage power lines, and pushed some vehicles off the highway as if they were toys. To the south, in Texas, the same series of storms brought flooding, heavy rains, and high winds. It's just the latest hit in a storm system that stretches from Texas to the Dakotas, spawning scores of tornadoes and setting off severe storm watches and warnings throughout the Midwest. Hardest hit so far is Holly, Colorado.
I just heard a train, a huge vacuum cleaner type train suction sound, and I just sat down and figured it was the last day of my life, but
it's just numbing. There are so many things that you see that in and of itself, if you just saw it standing alone, would be startling, it would be stunning, but after a while, as you walk through it, you become sort of numbed by it, and we just have to be very mindful of helping the people here any way we can.
The twister injured 11 in Holly and claimed the life of 29-year-old Rosemary Rosales, who was thrown from her home onto a tree.
She always took care of her kids. She always took care of her husband. That was always her main priority.
Another twister in rural Beaver County, Oklahoma, killed ranchers Vance and Barbara Woodbury. This is what's left of their home. Hari Srinivasan, CBS News, Dallas.
The White House says Attorney General Alberto Gonzales will have to speak for himself after potentially damaging testimony on Capitol Hill. Thursday, his former aide testified about the firings of 8 federal prosecutors, and their stories don't match. Jim Axelrod reports.
Truth. So help you God.
Alberto Gonzales' former chief of staff took the oath, then quickly cast serious doubt on the Attorney General's credibility.
I don't think the Attorney General's statement that he was not involved in any discussions about U.S. attorney removals is accurate.
Kyle Sampson was referring to this statement by Gonzales 17 days ago about the U.S. attorney firings.
I never saw documents. We never had a discussion about where things stood.
Since then, documents have surfaced indicating the AG was at a meeting last November 27th when the firings were discussed. When senators pressed Sampson on that Thursday, he clearly disputed his former boss's story.
I remember discussing with him this process of asking certain U.S. attorneys to resign, and I believe that he was present at the meeting on November 27th.
So he was involved in discussions contrary to the statement he made at his news conference on March 13th.
I believe, yes, sir.
In fact, Sampson said, he and Gonzales discussed the U.S. attorney firings at least 5 times.
The Attorney General was aware of this process from the beginning in early 2005. He and I had discussions about it during the thinking phase of the process. Then after the sort of more final phase of the process in the fall of 2006 began, we discussed it. He asked me to make sure that the process was appropriate, that I was consulting with the Deputy Attorney General and others in developing the list, and then ultimately he approved both the list and the notion of going forward and asking for these resignations.
Sampson directly challenged another contention of the Attorney General's, that Sampson was to blame for a major miscommunication with Congress about the U.S. attorney firings.
The charge for the Chief of Staff here was to drive this process. And the mistake that occurred here was that information that he had was not shared with individuals within the department.
Statement is false. There's no way to believe it's not.
I don't think it's accurate if
Okay,
the statement
we'll leave it at that.
implies
It's
that
not
I
accurate.
intentionally missheld any
Right. I'm not asking
information.
intent, I'm just asking whether it was
Mr.
false,
Chairman,
and you
Mr.
said it was
Chairman, would-
inaccurate.
One Republican strategist close to the White House say the gains the president made with fellow Republicans last week sticking up for the Attorney General evaporated with these contradictions. But Thursday night, the White House said the president is confident the Attorney General can overcome these questions. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, the White House.
And the showdown between President Bush and Congress over a deadline to get U.S. troops out of Iraq has reached a turning point. Cheryl Atkinson reports.
It's Congress's boldest challenge yet to the president's war authority. The Senate passed a $122 billion emergency spending bill to keep funds for the war flowing, but it comes with major strings attached. President Bush must start pulling out soldiers soon and withdraw most by April 2008. The president says he can't accept those terms and has promised a veto. So the troops' money hangs in limbo, each side saying it's the other who's not supporting the boots on the ground.
When we've got a troop in harm's way, we expect that troop to be fully funded. And we got commanders making tough decisions on the ground. We expect there to be no strings on our commanders.
If the president vetoes this bill, it is an asterisk in history. He sets the record for undermining troops more than any president we've ever had.
Shortly after the vote, and one day after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi chided Mr. Bush to take a deep breath,
there's a new Congress in town.
She found herself standing face to face with the commander-in-chief at a ceremony for the Tuskegee Airmen. The two ended up in what appeared to be a deep conversation that proved to be a challenge for lip readers and lasted several minutes. Pelosi's staff says they did talk about war funding and deadlines, but no mention of any breakthroughs in the impasse. The outstanding question now, which side will blink? They have some time to think it over. While the troops wait, Congress enjoys their spring break.
But they're going to take off 2 weeks for Easter, while our troops have not gotten the assurance they're going to have the funds they need.
The Pentagon says the troops will start to run out of money in just a few weeks, but critics say they've been operating without the proper support and equipment for a long time. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
It was California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger to the rescue. On Thursday, Schwarzenegger was speaking at an award ceremony when a young girl fainted on stage. The governor stopped his speech and helped to pick her up. She ended up being just fine. And just ahead on the morning news, new information for TJ Maxx and Marshall's customers, the ones who had their credit card information stolen last year. And in Health Watch, a new vaccine for prostate cancer. First, Katie Couric with a preview of tonight's CBS Evening News.
Hi there. On Assignment America, you'll meet a man who says he can look into another person's soul by staring at his shoes. We'll explain. So that story and more tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Early one morning, we set out with a humble goal: to build something useful for humanity. But then we said, why limit ourselves? And by day's end, we had created the greatest television channel in the history of the universe. And beyond. Your on-demand channel is here. Welcome to Comcast Channel 1.
Did you hear about Jim and Meg?
Oh, tell me.
Jen, can I have you look at this?
Okay, I'll be right back.
With its rich aroma and incredible flavor, Nestle Coffee Mate Coffee Creamer turns coffee into a total sensory experience. It's enough to tempt even the most devoted milk user. To get a free 7-day supply, go to coffeemate.com and discover for yourself why Coffee Mate is coffee's perfect mate.
They tickle, they tease, and you sneeze. Maybe it's time to ask your doctor about Singulair. While many allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair blocks leukotrienes, an underlying cause of nasal allergy symptoms. And that's how Singulair works differently. 1 pill, once a day. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat allergies.
See the pretty fish, Stevie?
Look at the one on the left, Dad. Dad, can I have that one? Can I?
I'll have to ask Mom, but I'm sure she'll say yes.
Your family's been waiting for fish like this.
Introducing Gorton's new Potato Crunch Fillets. Real potatoes make a crispy, crunchy, golden brown potato breading outside with tender, flaky white fish inside.
Where do potato crunch fish come from?
Only from Gorton's.
New Potato Crunch Fillets.
Trust the Gorton's fishermen.
On the CBS Money Watch, stocks gained ground after a roller coaster day. Alexis Christoforous has that, plus new details about that major credit card theft involving TJ Maxx and Marshall's customers.
Some potentially good news for victims of the TJX stolen data debacle. The owner of TJ Maxx and Marshall's says that about 3/4 of the affected credit and debit cards were already expired at the time of the theft. Information from nearly 46 million credit and debit cards was stolen by hackers in late 2006. Another sign that traditional pension is going the way of the dinosaur. Fidelity Investments is ditching its pension plan in favor of an enhanced 401k program. The company will also offer its 32,000 employees a new health savings credit to help pay medical expenses during retirement. Fidelity has been encouraging other companies to put more of the responsibility for retirement on workers. On Wall Street, investors will be focused on consumers today. We get the latest data on income, spending, and consumer sentiment. Soaring crude oil prices kept a lid on gains Thursday. The Dow Industrials did rally 48 points. The Nasdaq added nearly a point. And more people are turning to H&R Block this tax season. The company says it's working with nearly 500,000 more customers this year than last, and most of the increase is coming from its online business, which is up 14% this year. That's your Money Watch. In New York, I'm Alexis Christoforous.
There's a new tool in the fight against prostate cancer. It's an experimental vaccine and could soon get FDA approval. Dr. John LaPook reports.
When Eduardo Garcia's prostate cancer spread to his hip bone 6 years ago, his doctors decided to try something new. They injected him with a vaccine to ignite his immune system to fight the cancer. After 3 doses of a drug called Provenge, his cancer is in check.
It worked for me, and it could work for many people in the future.
Vaccine therapy is a new frontier of cancer treatment. It doesn't require invasive surgery or toxic chemotherapy with all its side effects. Here's how it works. Tumors sometimes trick the body into thinking cancer cells are normal. Provenge tells the immune system that cancer cells are the enemy and should be attacked. One study shows that 127 patients with advanced prostate cancer survived an average of 4.5 months longer than those not on the drug.
This is a very desperate group of patients who have no other options. The cancer is spread all over their body. So that 4-month survival advantage really means a lot to these men.
Right now, this vaccine is still experimental and only for prostate cancer that does not respond to hormone therapy.
And where this is going to have the most applicability in the future is for the patient who has the very first signs of relapse, where the amount of cancer in the body is not so great. And in that instance, this could result in prolonged remissions.
Scientists are also working on therapy to boost the immune system to fight other kinds of cancers. The drug maker expects the FDA will decide whether to approve this prostate cancer vaccine by May 15th. Dr. John LaPook, CBS News, New York.
Still to come, your Friday morning weather, and in sports, the Bouncers go the Bulls' way in their bid for a playoff berth.
CBS Health Watch, sponsored by Zyrtec. Talk to your doctor about Zyrtec.
Uh-oh, allergies. To what? The rug? The plant? The puppy? Oh, what could it possibly be?
If your environment changes and your allergies get worse, it's important to talk to your doctor. He can help figure out the cause of your new allergy. He may prescribe an allergy medicine like Zyrtec and suggest simple changes like wearing a mask when you vacuum. Zyrtec is the #1 prescribed allergy medicine in the U.S. It's approved to treat outdoor allergies like grass and tree pollen and indoor allergies like dust and pet dander. Zyrtec's most common side effects in adults are tiredness, drowsiness, and dry mouth. Lots of allergies. Just one Zyrtec.
You're driven towards the sound. Because only when you see what makes the sound can you learn what it is. Pampers Cruisers have the stretchiest sides around and a trim fit, so they help you move and explore your world easily.
With Applebee's new Pick and Pair lunch combos, you take any two you want. Choose from soup, salad, sandwich, and pasta, starting at just $5.99.
Here's a look at the weather in some cities around the country. In New York, sunny and pleasant, 60 degrees. In Miami, sunny and 81. Chicago, scattered showers, 58. In Denver, cloudy and 35. LA, sunny and 72. Time now for a check on the national forecast. This morning's satellite picture shows a long line of storm clouds extending from the upper Midwest to the lower Mississippi Valley. Meanwhile, skies are still gray over snowy Montana and Wyoming. Later today, the southern plains can expect another round of thunderstorms lasting into the night, while the northern and central plains will get drenched by steady downpours. The Rockies will see a few more inches of snow, but skies should be clear over the weekend. In the NBA, the Warriors and the Suns scored early and often. Jason Richardson put Golden State up by 4 in the second quarter, en route to a 77-63 halftime lead. Richardson set a team record with 8 three-pointers in the game. The Warriors won 124-119. In Chicago, the Bulls needed Kirk Heinrich to hit his free throws against Detroit. Heinrich put the Bulls up by 2 with 3 seconds left. The Pistons' Tayshaun Prince missed the buzzer beater as Chicago clinched its third straight playoff berth, 83-81. Break up the Grizzlies. Terrence Kinsey cleaned up the mess and flushed the jam at Portland. Zach Randolph put the Blazers ahead in the fourth quarter, but Kinsey and the Grizzlies got the win and their first game streak of the season, 96-92. And they may not have been invited to the big dance, but West Virginia proved they're no wallflowers. Frank Young hit 6 three-pointers for the Mountaineers in the NIT final. Young scored 24 as West Virginia beat Clemson 78-73 for the title. Don't forget, coverage of the NCAA Final Four begins tomorrow evening, right here on CBS. When we come back, another look at this morning's top stories and a group of black aviators who fought in World War II but were shunned when they returned home finally get their due.
It says here that stress can weaken our immune system.
And about 70% of our immune system is in our digestive tract.
Right. Apparently, a culture called LKCI Immunitas can help. It's clinically proven to help strengthen your body's defense system.
Only Dan Active has LKCI Immunitas.
We should try this Dan Active.
New Dan Active helps strengthen your body's defenses.
I'm really excited about the road ahead. I already feel like a non-smoker. Today was my first day of stepping down with the commit. I took 6 lozenges and so far so good. I'm just really happy. Being like free from all nicotine in general very shortly here is going to be a really, really amazing feeling. And I think that's because I had the commit and it was a gradual process. I'm getting back to myself before I smoked.
CBS 4 invites you to the biggest office party of the year, the Mercedes-Benz Corporate Run, Thursday, May 3rd at Bayfront Park. To register, get your team together and call 305-666-RACE or log on to this website. The fair is back, and while you're there, make sure you catch Sensations on Ice, a special skating spectacular sure to amaze you. It's all brought to you by CBS 4. The fair, be there. Going on now through April 1st.
Monarch Dodge is overstocked and must reduce inventory now. Brand new 06s and 07s selling below dealer invoice at Monarch Dodge. Over 500 new cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Save thousands. Brand new Ram 1500 Quad Cab Air and Automatic, just $17,995. Dakota Club Cab SLT Air Automatic and CD, just $13,995. Monarch Dodge overstocked and blowing them out below dealer invoice. Monarch Dodge must reduce inventory. Monarch Dodge on 441 between Alta Park and Sunrise Boulevard. Save thousands today.
On the CBS Morning News, here's a look at today's weather. Thunderstorms will continue to develop across the southern plains, while the rest of the plains will get soaked by downpours. Elsewhere, the east will be sunny and mild. Here's another look at this morning's top stories. Heavy rain and flooding now threaten the Plains states as they try to recover from a slew of damaging tornadoes. More than 60 twisters touched down in 5 states. At least 4 people were killed. And testifying on Capitol Hill, Alberto Gonzalez's former top aide contradicted his old boss. Kyle Sampson said despite Gonzalez's denial, he was involved in the firings of 8 U.S. attorneys. An emergency landing scared passengers on a flight to Orlando Thursday. A plane touched down without its front landing gear after the gear got stuck in the closed position. It did land safely with some sparks and smoke, but no flames. More than 150 passengers were on board. No one was hurt. A group of Americans who showed tremendous heroism in the sky during World War II were honored for their service Thursday. The story of the Tuskegee Airmen marked a chapter in America's struggle with racism. Richard Schlesinger reports.
Well, the jets were attacking here.
Roscoe Brown, one of the surviving members of the all-black Tuskegee Airmen, can still tell you how he shot down his first German airplane more than 60 years ago.
And I went down underneath the bombers and got the jet right up in there and shot him down. He blew up.
In the air during World War II, black fighter pilots were a welcome sight to the white bomber pilots they were protecting.
Our job, as the bombers were here, was to fly over the bombers and protect them. And that's
dangerous work.
That is it's dangerous work because before the bombers get shot, we get shot.
He flew in the face of danger in the air and bigotry on the ground.
We did what we had to do because we knew that if we didn't do it, they would say black pilots couldn't do this.
The record of the Tuskegee Airmen speaks for itself. They claim 111 planes shot down and another 150 destroyed on the ground. They were first-class pilots and second-class citizens.
The white pilots would generally fly 50 missions and go home. We had to fly 70 missions.
And when the war ended, they came home to a second-class welcome. Their record was largely ignored. They had helped conquer fascism, but they still faced racism.
Brown remembers the Tuskegee Airmen got hit in the face with it as soon as they came home.
There was a soldier there with a sign that said, white troops this way, colored troops this way. With the white troops, there were about 50 or 60 reporters. With the black troops, there's 1.
But all eyes were on Roscoe Brown and the other surviving Tuskegee Airmen in the Capitol Rotunda as they were awarded this nation's highest civilian award, the Congressional Gold Medal.
We are so proud today, and I believe America is proud today. Thank you very much.
It took more than 60 years, but the Tuskegee Airmen, who at one time could not get their salutes returned, got their due from the Commander-in-Chief with a gesture perhaps as meaningful as the medal itself.
I salute you for the service to the United States of America.
Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, Washington.
And coming up this morning on the early show, Hannah Storm is live at the Final Four. I'm Susan McGinnis. This is the CBS Morning News.
I don't understand why we're using the kiosk while everyone else is waiting in line.
Well, because no one knows about it yet, Mo. We're ahead of the curve.
I don't know, Al. My inner herd instinct is telling me to stay with the group.
Just stay here while I get the car.
Stay, or go. I'm gonna go.
Mo! The new kiosk from Alamo. Fight your herd instinct. Skip the line.
Slow-grilled wild salmon with crisp garden greens simmered in a fragrant reduction. Inspiration for fancy feast, elegant medleys. The restaurant-inspired food for cats. Delight her with wild salmon Florentine in a delicate sauce with garden greens. One of many artfully prepared dishes. Fancy Feast Elegant Medleys. Is it love or is it Fancy Feast?
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz. This month, Dolphin Carpet & Tile is celebrating its 33rd anniversary. We sell all types of flooring for less than anyone, and this month only, we'll give you no-interest financing for 24 months and a free area rug with every qualified purchase.
The International Artist Series, a non-profit organization, presents direct from Spain, Paco Peña and his Flamenco Dance Company, Saturday, March the 31st at 8 p.m. in the Jackie Gleason Theater, Miami Beach. The New York Times says extraordinary. The Los Angeles Times calls him the most universally respected flamenco guitarist today. Don't miss seeing Paco Peña and his Flamenco Dance Company, backed by popular demand, Saturday, March the 31st at 8 p.m. For tickets, call 305-643-9821 and all Ticketmaster outlets. Sponsored by Mama Jenny's Restaurant and German Motorsports.
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz. This month, Dolphin Carpet and Tile is celebrating its 33rd anniversary. We sell all types of flooring for less than anyone, and this month only, we'll give you no-interest financing for 24 months and a free area rug with every qualified purchase.
Allergy season is arriving early in some parts of the country. Folks in parts of the South were in agony Thursday as the pollen count neared record levels. In fact, there was so much pollen, people could see it. Mark Strassman reports.
Hi there, you're Deborah?
Spring is in the air, and Deborah Green can barely breathe.
Yeah, it's making you cough.
She just moved to Atlanta, just in time for the city's worst pollen outbreak on record. That's not snow falling here this morning, that's pollen. Male cells falling from flowering trees that can clog your sinuses and lungs.
The other day I kind of felt like I had an elephant on my chest. It was just so heavy and so tight.
Every morning, this pollen lab takes an air sample, a misery index for people with allergies. By its measure, any count over 120 is considered extremely high. This morning's count, 5937, the second highest on record.
I mean, the pollens are just laying on top of each other.
During a warm, dry spring, trees bloomed early. Pollen fell on everything. Watch the change in the sedan. After just 4.5 hours, it needs a trip to the car wash. All over, Atlanta looks just like this, covered with a thin blanket of yellow dust. Doctors say for pollen sufferers, the only real relief is to stay indoors, to become a virtual shut-in during one of the prettiest times of the year.
Well, you're having an allergic reaction.
Allergist offices are packed.
About 25 to 35% of the population, the adult population, has this predisposition to have allergy sensitivities to pollen.
Sure, pollen sufferers can try to wash away the dust, but not the misery. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Atlanta.
And that's the CBS Morning News for this Friday. Thanks for being with us. We hope you'll join us later for The Early Show. I'm Susan McGinnis. Have a great weekend.
For news 24 hours a day, log on to cbsnews.com. CBS News. See it now, anytime, anywhere.
Coming up, do you know the smartest way to use your tax refund? See how to make the most of it. Also, the next Survivor cast-off and Will Ferrell on The Early Show.
The Final Four. Georgetown is back and battles Ohio State. Then a rematch of last year's championship. UCLA gets another shot at Florida. Saturday on CBS.
March Madness, only on CBS. College hoops doesn't get any better than this. Catch March Madness right here on 4.